to say such slanderous things as the fact that you think Cyborg is a chump. I might have to switch teams after hearing such an offensive thing. Hello and welcome back to a new episode of CBR SAGA. I'm your host, Darren Wartz, and joined again, as usual, by the gentlemen, Josh Gruber and
Hello.
Curtis Nash. Gents, always good to see you.
Hello.
So we're back to the dream battles. We got two pretty heavyweight teams here in the hero business. It's going to be a very interesting battle, to say the least. We did Avengers versus Justice League, and this is kind of like that because today is Young Avengers versus basically the Young Justice League, the Teen Titans, going head-to-head in a mono matchup. First question, we'll set some ground rules for this fight before we jump into it. Is this fight to the death?
Oh, that's hardcore.
That's the first, because that's going to, I asked this question because if it's not, as heroes wouldn't, but some heroes have, had to take a life from time to two, but you have people that maybe it goes against their code, where that would be kind of a fallback for them if they can't give that 110% and have to hold back. So I just want to set that off the bat before we jump too into it.
Well, I think just because they're both hero teams, I won't say to the death. You need those bad guy stakes.
Josh, are you in agreement?
I agree.
Okay, we're going to go Pokemon rules. They faint at the end of the fight, and then everybody's fine. So here's our lineup, and we're gonna build who's fighting one another kind of on the fly here. So for Young Avengers, we've got Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, got Kid Loki, Wiccan, Patriot, which is Elijah Bradley, and we've got Hulkling. And then for the Teen Titans, we've got Nightwing, Dick Grayson, Cyborg, Victor Stone, Beast Boy, Garfield Logan, Raven, Rachel Roth, and Starfire, Corey Anders. We got some magic wielders. We've got some just like full-on punchy punch people. So out of those two lineups, Josh, we'll go with you. Who do you want to see facing off first?
Let's take Beast Boy. Gar, let's take him against Kate Bishop.
That was going to be mine.
Against Kate Bishop. Obviously, Hawkeye is going to be taking this from a distance kind of game. She knows if she gets in this too close, Beast Boy's going to turn into a grizzly bear and tear her apart. So she's got to rely a lot on kind of, I guess, like what her father taught her when it comes to stealth and her hand-to-hand combat and just all-around kind of situational awareness when it comes to this fight. Curtis, you look deep in thought. What are you thinking?
Well, I just automatically wanted to give it to Beast Boy, but then I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? She might actually have a fighting chance at this if she can keep her distance.
I think so, too.
Because I'm trying to think of anything that Beast Boy can do from far away. Maybe the only thing I could think of was Teen Titans Go to the Movies where he shoots the porcupine quills and makes the giant inflatable guy fart. That's the only thing that's run through my mind that could possibly shoot. But porcupine quills are no match for Kate Bishop as Hawkeye. So I don't know. I think she's got actually a fighting chance that from a distance, she might have him.
I mean, yeah.
A net arrow or something like that.
That's true. Like, I was going to say maybe if Beast Boy were to take, like, I'm going to turn into a dinosaur, a pterodactyl, or some type of giant eagle or something like that and fly towards her. Like you said, she's just got technology and arrows. It's not just, just iron-tipped arrows. She's got things that explode. She's got sleep arrows. She's got a whole arsenal. So I think that, we might have a little bit of an edge leaning to Hawkeye, which this may be in history the only fight where a Hawkeye has a leading edge in a fight against anybody.
But we have to be realistic. She only has a quiver of arrows. Once those arrows are done, if she hasn't taken him out yet, game over. Game over.
That's true.
And Beast Boy, let's remember, like, he could go as big as he wants. He could be the biggest Tyrannosaurus Rex where, like, arrows do nothing to him. Or he could go very, very small, like a tsetse fly.
Oh.
The old tsetse fly ain't getting shot by an arrow.
That's I never thought about that. He could just go small enough that she couldn't get a bead on him and then just pop into a T-Rex 2 inches from her face and throw her off a cliff. Like, if that's really the route he wanted to go.
Because he could definitely pull like the Ant-Man where, Ant-Man's riding Hawkeye's arrows. Like, if he's small enough, the arrows aren't going to bother him.
Now you're making this too hard. Jeez,
this is
Louise.
giving me more of a problem than I thought it was going to have. Yeah, I was saying like Beast Boy's got it in 5 seconds,
man.
but now I'm wondering. I'm just like, this could go literally either way. This is a Deadpool Wolverine fight kind of situation.
I think the only way Kate Bishop might have it then, Beast Boy's got to be smart about it. It can't be Teen Titans Go Beast Boy then.
No.
She's got to like try to knock him out right away with some kind of gas. Because a net's not going to work. He'll grow either too big. It's got to be gas or it's nothing.
Right.
So unless she knocks him out like right off the bat, I think Beast Boy might actually have it.
If she's coming in with training, I think that's the way that she approaches it too. Is she's going to go stealth. You're not going to know that she's there, and like Beast Boy is going to be waiting for the fight, but she's in a ghillie suit, 6 kilometers away, shooting the arrow west and riding the wind as it comes in, the way Daddy taught her. And probably, just put him to sleep, and then you don't have to worry about the transformation. I'm probably, with those arguments, I think I'm going to lead to Hawkeye as well for this one. I think just with the training, because Garfield is more just a teenager, right? He doesn't have that tactical training that she has, and I think that's going to be the edge that she would have over him in this fight.
I agree. I have a feeling that like this is Smart's type deal. I can't see him going really small or being stealthy. Like you said, he's a teenager. He's going to go big. He's going to go into like his giant bird T-Rex type. And I think as soon as he goes big, Bishop has a beat on him. I think it might be game over.
Right. All right, well, we're taking that round 1, shocking the fans in the auditorium and going for Hawkeye. Of course, as per usual, let's hear it in the comments who you think would win between these fights, because we have our opinions. We're sure you do too.
Doesn't matter who we picked, it's wrong.
There's one guy right now typing along, just going, actually, in issue 67.
No, he did turn small, actually, and it worked.
He did get training. They went back in time. All right, so Hawkeye taking that win. Let's go down the list for the next one. Who would be a good matchup? We got to go Magic versus Magic here. Kid Loki. Who we want to put against Kid Loki?
Well, you have to go Raven.
You got to go Raven.
Yeah.
Does Kid Loki, Curtis, answer me on this question. Does Kid Loki have the awareness and capabilities with his magic as adult Loki does?
I don't think so. Unless he's like I don't know. How do Asgardians age exactly? Because they're supposed to be gods who are hundreds of years old. I need to find an age of mentally he might be a little older than physically.
Well, and that's the problem too, is that Kid Loki could be 500 years old, could be 1500 years old. It kind of all depends. But his Loki's magic is even that when he's full grown isn't as much power based and like chaos magic, or can like turn you into anything aside from illusions and like kind of conjuring stuff. Whereas Raven, I mean, she has a bad day and she's going to destroy your planet.
If she has a bad breakfast, she's going to destroy your planet.
Yeah. She's like a planet eater. I was definitely going to say like what you said, like watching like the Loki like Disney Plus show, you really realize how like underpowered Loki is. And I mean, like in the comic books, it's a different story.
So yeah, when it comes to Kid Loki's powers and Loki in general's powers seem to be more based around conjuring, illusion magic. He can dry his clothes if they're wet. He can change the way that he looks. He can appear like somebody else. But I've never really seen him like take down a helicarrier with a magic bolt blast to the effect of like what Raven can do. Like,
I agree.
She full on goes God mode and can just like conjure and materialize stuff and do the magic blasts and everything. So for me, the magical level doesn't seem like one output is on par with the other, if that makes any sense.
I mean, when it comes to like magic, when it comes to her being like in demon form, I mean, Loki is a god of like mischief and like trickery. Like she is like the daughter of like one of the most powerful demons in like all of DC, like Trigon. So yeah, like when you said like, oh yeah, you know, she could literally like eat this world. Yeah, she could. Like if she wanted to, but she's a good guy. So, but when it comes to that Kid Loki, I think battle's in the bag for Raven.
Yeah, and I even think personality-wise, Raven can, you know, they both kind of have their outbursts, but Loki, even on a good day, is more cocky and too sure-footed in himself, whereas Raven kind of has that shaman outlook on a lot of things, if you will, where I think that would even lead to a benefit on her side. Curtis, you got any kind of thoughts on what you think would happen between those two?
I do believe that Loki is no match. Like you said, god of mischief versus god of like an underworld type situation. There's no contest. Sorry, Loki. You're done.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I agree with you. I think that one, it has to go to Raven. I don't think that no matter who she would have gone up against, she probably would have came out victorious, unless it was like an adult version or like Wanda Maximoff or something. Would probably be a lot more fair of a fight between those two. But
I think so.
Speaking of Wanda Maximoff, her chaos magical created son, Wiccan, obviously to go up against another magic wielder, Starfire. This one I could see being a little bit more of a even-ish fight. Like chaos magic in the Marvel universe is very, you can create realities. You can shoot those magic blasts. You can conjure stuff. I mean, Wiccan himself is created from chaos energy. Depending on which version you're looking at. He could be biological, he could be created from magic, right? And Starfire has alien planets, or alien powers, rather. Again, Josh, I'll go to you as a resident DC veteran here. When it comes to, because when I see Raven, I know she can fly, I know she can shoot energy lasers and everything, but she's got more powers than that, right?
Not Raven, yeah, Starfire.
Starfire, yes.
I wouldn't classify Starfire as like a magic user per se. Like you said, she's alien, so I think she like burned some sort of like nuclear energy that allows her to like fly. Her hair's on fire and stuff like that. Right. But like, yeah, when it comes to her fighting Wiccan, I feel like Wiccan might have the edge, depending on like where he is in life. Like Young Avengers, like he's still relatively young, but like he grows up to be like the next Sorcerer Supreme.
Well, Sorcerer Supreme, and he also completely changes like what magic is considered in the Marvel universe. Yeah. Like he becomes a god in his own way.
Like he's no slouch, but like if we're talking like while he's young and he doesn't have those skills yet.
That's the thing.
I think that it might go back to Coriander only because like she's no stranger to like fighting battles. That's her entire life. And so magic though, like I don't think she has any sort of like resistance to magic or anything. So
right,
like, it is very fair. I don't know where it could go.
I think punch for punch wise, it's definitely evenly matched. Like this is the type of fight where it would be a flattened city by the end of it if they were going like no holds barred. But you make a really good point about just Wiccan's maturity level, where we see him now like in WandaVision, and even when it comes to the Young Avengers, very preteen, very teenager, very angsty, very making brash decisions based off of wanting to prove somebody wrong or based off of, just emotions driving it more than anything. Where when you have Coriander, like you said, she's trained. She's, she understands military tactics and everything. She's going to have the cooler head under pressure in that situation. And I think if we kind of remove powers from it with that conversation, I think she would have more of the edge in that sense too, because I think he's just going to be, for lack of a better term, just a stupid teenager. And he's going to make some of those problems we all made when we were teenagers, and it's going to cost him the fight in the end. However, when he's Sorcerer Supreme and he's a grown-up, that completely different idea and story there.
Yeah.
Curtis, between Starfire and between Wiccan, do you have any other points that you'd like to make when it comes to this?
Wiccan, I think, has a good chance to win just because he can alter reality like his mom can. But he can also have like the brute force of Starfire's powers where he's shooting blaster bolts at her and stuff like that. So if he's smart enough to alter reality and make her think she's seeing something that she's not, then, he might get a little bit of an upper hand. But he's got to be smart enough to do it.
That's a good point, actually. I never thought. She could be winning the fight, but for all she knows, the fight never took place. It's like that Spider-Man Far From Home situation when he's fighting Mysterio and has no idea that he's punching a brick wall, even though he thinks what he sees is Mysterio. So that, I was leaning towards Starfire, but if you give me that, again, the emo tendencies aside, the ability to alter reality and what you're seeing could be a huge game changer in a fight like that. So who would we give this to when we have a fight like this that's so evenly matched? Would we call that a draw? Because I think a lot of Wiccan winning depends on where he is in life, where a lot of Starfire winning depends on where he is in life too. Because if it's adult Wiccan versus adult Starfire, probably edge going to go to Wiccan. But if they're fighting Teen Titans, Young Avengers time in their lives, I think it's Starfire.
I do too. Honestly, like Starfire would have the edge only because even as a part of Teen Titans, she's a little older, right? So.
All right, so that one going to Starfire. So actually, it's a pretty, so far, semi-evenly matched between the two teams, kind of going 2v1 right now when it comes to winners. For this next one, We're going to put up Patriot, Elijah Bradley. We've seen him for a second in Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney+. Gonna go up against baby Batman himself, Dick Grayson, Nightwing. For this, you gotta go punching versus punching. And I feel like somebody with a super serum injection is going to kind of put them on par with somebody trained by Batman. Josh, we'll start with you. In a fight like this, I mean, Nightwing is not only the most handsome person in the DCEU, but he's also one of the best trained fighters in probably, aside from Batman, all of it, right?
Yeah.
So who are you going to put in a fight like this?
Nightwing. 100%. Like, Nightwing fights Bane. He fights Scarecrow. Like, nothing could be done to Nightwing that Patriot already faced, right? And so with Patriot coming in with maybe like a little bit of like augmented strength, it's nothing Nightwing hasn't seen before.
Well, and that's such a good point. Augmented strength means nothing when you've been trained your entire life how to use a person's strength against them.
Yeah.
Right? And that you've seen your mentor do hundreds of times in the past. Like he's trained to take on superhumans, metahumans, you name it. Curtis, what about you? Are you in the same boat as Josh where you think that would more go to a Nightwing over a Patriot?
Oh, no question. When you're trained by the best, you will be the best. He's beaten Batman for crying out loud. So I think low-key, no-name Patriot is toast when it comes to the King of Bloodhaven, Nightwing.
The King of Bloodhaven, indeed. Okay, and I think, that was going to be a short fight no matter who you ask. That was one we saw coming. And Nightwing's just awesome. God, I love Dick Grayson. He's so cool. Okay, so this is the final fight now. And this one could be something. Hulkling, who also I found out recently may have been cast for a Disney Plus series. Do you know the guy who plays Ragnar Lothbrok's son in Vikings?
Isn't he in heels?
I mean, so you can CG anybody to be a giant green rage monster, right? You imagine they just got him in the platforms. I mean, Tony Stark wore platforms in the Avengers movies to be taller, so we got him going up against Cyborg. So this is technology versus brute strength. I mean, Cyborg, who has alien motherbox technology, where he can literally turn his limbs into any type of machinery or weaponry, versus essentially the Hulk.
Whoa. He is not the Hulk by any stretch of the imagination.
He's half Kree, half Skrull.
Superhuman strength, superhuman durability, superhuman stamina, shape-shifting, can fly if he shifts to give himself wings.
I was going to say, I thought he had shape-shifting.
Yeah, well, this is where Curtis's knowledge is going to come in, so let's maybe lead with you a little bit more here. Correct me before I go off too far and Josh beats me up.
He's half Kree, he's half Skrull. He can almost be invulnerable. He can shapeshift. And Cyborg, I've never been a big Cyborg fan. I think he's a bit of a chump, to be honest with you. Yeah, he can do all this technology. I don't really care. Hulkling is way cooler than Cyborg will ever be. Character-wise, backstory, powers, all that kind of stuff.
To say such slanderous things as the fact that you think Cyborg is a chump, I'm not even like, I might have to switch teams after hearing such an offensive thing like this, because I've always been more of a Marvel guy, but I have always thought Cyborg is one of the coolest DC characters there is.
Yeah, I should come down there and slap your face.
And he can merge the technology. He is the internet. He can turn into like blasters and he can fly, and he's got so much cool stuff with him that I might have to step away from this. Josh, what is you gotta have a counterpoint to this stuff we just heard about Hulkling and Cyborg being a chump.
I mean, at any point in like the timeline of Cyborg and Hulkling, you can take Hulkling like at his like strongest or at his oldest, and pair that against Cyborg at his like oldest and strongest. Cyborg would wipe the floor with him, because Cyborg he can do anything with technology. Like, you basically have to be fighting. I don't even know where you could fight that Cyborg couldn't utilize any of his technology or his powers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, like, I mean, there are stories in the DC universe where like Cyborg is the one who creates the end of the world because of viruses, like, you know, things like that. Hulkling wouldn't stand a chance. Half Kree, half Skrull. Well, pound sand, Kurt. Pound sand.
That's the thing too. Is just like Skrulls and Kree. Unless you're Super Skrull, you don't really have incredible strength that would like be useful in a fight like
What's he going to do to him? What's he going to do to him? Make his computer not work? He's going to make his computer not work? Well, Hulkling's going to punch him right in his stupid cyborg face. Give him connectivity problems, old cyborg.
Yeah, error 505 or whatever it's called after taking a punch. I'm sorry, for this one, I'm already leaning towards Cyborg on a good day against a lot of people in this fight. I just can't see Hulkling taking the advantage of this. It's like, okay, yeah, you're slightly invulnerable. So is Cyborg. You can fly, so can Cyborg, but all the time. You know, he has an arsenal of weapons he just needs to think about to conjure into existence.
Right.
Yeah, booyah, baby. That's for me. That's going to straight to Cyborg.
That's 2 against 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to vote for this one. So let's just, okay, so to wrap it up, we had Hawkeye winning, and I think we also had Wiccan.
Starfire, because Wiccan was too young. Yeah.
Starfire took that one. Okay, so Nightwing wins, Cyborg wins, Beast Boy loses, Raven wins, and Starfire wins. So it seems like, with the exception of Hawkeye, who would have thought that in a fight between super teams, the Hawkeye character would be the one that managed to come out victorious in this whole thing? Man, 100-1 odds on that one. But I mean, it's hard to argue when you have the Teen Titans that have been trained by some of the best superheroes in the business, and we didn't even put Superboy in there. You know, like we left out some of the other Teen Titans that have been on the roster that would have definitely kind of just had things go more on their side. And that's where we're giving it. If I have to kind of cut and dry a winner for this one, I would say it goes to the Teen Titans versus the Young Avengers. Josh?
I concur.
He concurs. I'm sure Curtis concurs as well.
Yeah, I agree. Teen Titans are going to take it. They've been trained better, but all in all, Cyborg does and will always be subpar and sucks.
Obviously, we have our opinions on who we think would win, and obviously, you're going to have ours. There's probably so many of you that don't agree, many of you that do agree, but that's the point of this. We want you to continue this fight in the comments. Who do you think would win between the heroes we chose? Who would you think about the heroes that maybe we didn't include? Would you include Superboy? Would you include a different DC or a different Marvel hero in their superhero matchup team? And that's the whole point of this. It's just a bunch of friends sitting around arguing about who we think would win. And for this time, it's going to be the Teen Titans. Boys, as per usual, thank you so much for joining me. Josh, Curtis, always a pleasure, my dudes.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.